toasting, joking too. Sipping and roasting is what we do. Light 'em up, drink 'em down. Whiskey and cigars all around. Cheers, y'all.
That sounds like a party just about to start, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally as
Hi, Mom.
the world-famous Smoking and Toasted, and known to some people as just the Drinking Show.
The drinking.
Welcome to episode
That's
number
why I'm here.
475, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk today. Well, we every so often here at Smoking and Toasting, because of the sort of mid-level intellectual conversation that we have on this show, it feels important every now and then that we should class the joint up. And whenever that urge arises, one of the first things that we do is reach out to our good friend and Smoking and Toasting wine expert, Marc Borel, and ask him to come on the show and elevate the discourse. So we have two main objectives for
You
today's
are
show.
sorely mistaken, my friend.
we have two main objectives for today's show. One is we're going to elevate the discourse by having wine, because that's fancier than just beers and spirits, right?
I mean, I put on a shirt that has holes in it,
Right.
but only where buttons go.
Right, exactly. You got a big one at the top there, though, too.
I've been called fancy once or twice in my life.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. We'll be a little fancy with the drinks. And the second thing is there is a one-show moratorium on discussions about Nicolas Cage. Not going to happen on today's show because we're trying to class the joint up.
Yeah.
Are you saying Nicolas Cage is not classy?
I was going to say you're going to disagree, aren't you?
I mean, I'm just
I
saying.
think we just started
I
something.
mean, anybody that would hang out drunk in the lobby of a Las Vegas fancy restaurant with your leopard skin tights on,
I'm sitting right here.
that's a Nicolas Cage thing. So, and now we've already violated our no Nicolas edict for the show. So at this point, anything goes. Let's drink, let's party, let's be happy. Marc Borel, as I mentioned, our resident Smoking and Toasting wine expert, has selected some wines for us to try today. So
Yep.
we're going to be getting into that. And then Ian brought in something from his collection that is the seal not broken on this, Ian?
I haven't opened it yet.
Wow. So not only is that amazing that Ian actually brought a full bottle of whiskey, but it's also putting us in potential violation of some safety regulations.
So I don't know if you look closely. What I did is I've already taken the plastic off, and I've already cut through the paper on each side.
Okay,
So that all I have to do is pop it open.
there's still a possibility of spillage, though.
Yes, 100%,
neck-
because I haven't cleared the neck of the
the
bottle.
it has been
hasn't been cleared.
pre-prepped for the show.
So, Ian, do better next time.
I may have to do that like right here on the spot.
Okay, well, and then people can see what a potentially dangerous, action that is. So, well, we'll look forward to it. Lots to talk about on the program today. We are going to be talking wines, of course, with Marc Borel and Ian's Whiskey, the 8-year Wild Turkey 101, 8-year. So this is a more sophisticated turkey, you're saying?
Yes, it's one more.
Gobble,
I think the
gobble.
regular 101 is we were talking about it earlier. I think it's 6 to 8 years. We thought 6 to 7. Sorry, 6 to 7 years.
So this is potential.
Don't do it.
Potential.
Don't do
Okay.
it. So this is a little bit more.
Even Mark knows. Even
All
Mark
right,
knows.
let me just since you brought it up, let me let you guys know that I've been doing some research into the 6-7 meme and phenomenon, and I've come to believe that it may have been kicked off in the 80s by Tommy Two-Tone.
Okay.
Because the
There was
song
a
goes
867.
867 5309.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
his
funny.
only real hit.
It's funny you can find things like that. I mean,
Remember though, it's 5309.
Well, yeah, and that's a variation on 9, which is
I thought it was German.
some countries recognize it, just like some countries recognize the whole time change thing with daylight
Right,
savings time, and some don't.
I thought it was because like you actually on those phones back then you could dial all the way around the little
Yeah.
thing, and it just took a long time for it to get back around. Rotary.
That makes sense to me. But I think Tommy Two Tone may have started this whole thing, so that'll add another wrinkle to the.
I'm liking that.
Add another wrinkle to
Make
that
it to the
whole
lore. If you write
story.
it on the internet, then someone will write lore about it, and then it'll become true.
Yeah, that's right, because that's how
That's how
truth is generated.
That's how that
Yeah.
works.
What's
6 months
the
from now, you'll
Urban
see a
Dictionary, the
documentary on
Urban Encyclopedia? What's it called?
It's the that's it.
Urban
Dictionary. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, if you're ever looking to get a definition for a word that seems a little too edgy for Merriam-Webster,
Yeah.
Urban Dictionary is your place to go.
But they have all this fanfic now that's out, and that people just write about things, and so you can just make it up, put it on the internet, and boom, there you go.
Is there 6-7 fanfic?
I don't know if there is, but I wouldn't
Wow.
doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I'm here to promote my new book, The 6-7 Phenomenon.
The real question here is why are we talking about this?
I don't know. If I had an answer for you, I'd give you one, but I don't know. We haven't even really started drinking yet. Although we are enjoying some show beers. Ian's got one from our show beer sponsor, which is
Copperhead
the fine
Brewing.
folks at Copperhead Brewing. Yeah,
Up in Conroe,
Texas,
just
yeah.
north of, or we like to refer to it as North Houston.
Did I see?
I
Mark,
refer to it as South Dallas.
Are,
but-
yes, that's more correct. Are you drinking a Copperhead as well? And-
Yes, I'm having the wild berry sour.
Oh, that's my favorite. See, good
Okay.
choice.
Well, here's just out of complete diplomacy, I asked Ian for something girly because if I was going to drink wine today, I wanted something that
that
wasn't
makes
going to
me
mess
feel
up.
good.
Yeah,
Right? And so,
yeah.
and so this is
You
the
didn't want
end.
something that was going to fight with it, right?
And by the way, the fancy guy kind of likes it, so
Yeah,
there we
okay.
go.
I
There you
love
go.
it. I think it's great. This is
It's
this
a
is the one that
fantastic
I
sour.
have been drinking.
And by the
this
way,
sour.
you did say girly, but I was going with it's fruity.
Fruity. Okay, there you go. So you got
I've
that
been
all.
called fruity once.
You've got all of it. All the bases have been covered, and we thank
There
you for
you
that. We're going to bring you some of our normal normal things on the show today, but we also are hoping that we get time because with Marc Borel, you never know, he's such a chatterbox. But we're hoping that we
does
get
go
time, in addition to wines for springtime, to tell you about the new Bear Poop Lager. Lager actually made
I don't know
that
what
includes bear. I didn't either when I saw
that
it.
includes bear poop.
Yeah, bear
Can I
poop's
just
in the
make
mash
sure,
bill.
we're not trying this one on the
We
show
are not
today?
trying
Okay,
that one
good.
on the show
Okay.
today.
Or ever.
Well, I will not rule out a potential beverage of mystery in your future.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You know what? The
I mean, I'm
only
not gonna
thing-
lie. I've tasted a friend's cooking and be like, it just needs a little salt.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
Here's what I can say.
I've never once thought to myself, what's gonna make this better?
Yeah.
There's only one way that you will ever beat him giving you Malort as the beverage of mystery, and this will
And
be
this
it.
might be
I
it.
just hope I'm not there that day.
I can't wait for Ian to be praising its, soft, gentle notes of earth and tannins and go, this is really good. What is it? And then I make the reveal and it's beer
Bear
made
poop
with bear
beer.
poop. Yeah. So and
Hey
I was
man,
thinking-
people drink
Extra
coffee
Miller
that
Lite.
comes from a rodent's butt.
Oh, that's right. The beans are
Yeah.
in the little pellets.
Which it explains why coffee's become so expensive because think
They
of the
let-
time that takes.
They let the rodent eat these beans,
Yeah.
and then they poop them out and they harvest them
Yeah.
and grind them and feed it to you as coffee.
Yeah.
I like the way when it's like if you're at the zoo, you're just like scooping up poop, but if it's this, you're harvesting.
Right,
I like
exactly.
to think like who's the first guy that thought of that?
Well, and how did he get it into the meeting? Guys, I've got it. We'll take the coffee beans. Yeah.
He brought a big basket of
Listen,
them.
there's a process.
Yeah, right.
Did you try your coffee? Did you like it? Now let me tell you about the process.
Yeah, it involves rat poop. So not everything on the show will be about poop today, but some of it may be just
That's it,
as
I'm out.
just as disturbing. Let's.
No matter what.
What's
Mark
next,
thought
my
of,
scatological friend?
Yeah.
No matter what he. Oh God. No matter what Mark thought of before he went to bed last night, this is not where he thought it was going.
You know, I kind of had an idea.
He probably prepared himself with Nicolas Cage stories, and then we tried to rule those out right at the top. So
Did a lot of research in Florida.
right. Well, we will be bringing you our some of our regular features here on the show. We'll be getting, in fact, in a moment to the Drunken Fact. So we'll give you the Drunken Fact teaser headline, and that teaser headline for the Drunken Fact is that a message in a bottle? Nope. It's a rubber ducky. And in the second hour of our show today, we'll bring you the most popular feature on the program for some unknown reason. It's Drinking News, where we bring you a story from the news that is sometimes, but not always, about drinking, but always best enjoyed if you've been drinking. By then, we certainly will have been. And our Drinking News teaser...
I'm on it, boss.
Our Drinking News teaser headline for today is... The Disturbing Story of Mr. Sticky. So you have that to look forward to. There's all kinds of other things that we'll potentially talk about, but if, quite frankly, if we get a chance to taste the wine and to talk about Bear Poop Lager, I'm going to consider it a success. So
That's cool.
that's just kind of how we roll.
All topics covered.
Speaking of success, we don't often have success with the beverage of mystery, but we have at times, and so we poured the beverage of mystery for all of our panelists here. It's one that I brought in. The beverage of mystery is where one of us brings something in, we taste it sight unseen. The only person who knows what it is the person what brung it, and that keeps us from forming any prejudiced thoughts about it before we try it.
I have thoughts.
It's a blank slate, as it were. So with that in mind,
This
The beverage of mystery.
smells like lemonade.
does it taste like lemonade?
I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet.
Specifically, country time lemonade.
After some of the things you brought in, I get a little sketchy on the tasting part.
I can understand that, but
scary.
I would point out
Doesn't
that
taste like bear poop.
I would point out that only one of us has brought Malort, and it
Actually-
wasn't me.
This is pretty good.
Yeah? What do you think of this, Mark?
I don't think there's a lot to it.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
I got the lemonade on the nose, and there's some definite citrus there, but I don't know. Looking at it, it's clear, it's bubbly, it's fizzy. I think I had higher taste expectations.
I agree. It's a little milder, I guess, in a flavor standpoint than I was expecting.
I am a big fan
Even
of
tastes a little-
fizzy water. Unsweetened, like LaCroix.
So
Yeah,
does
yeah.
this remind you of like a LaCroix or something
This
like
is very similar to that. It's a little more tart,
I see that.
but this has nothing in there. Well, there's a slight perfuminess to the lemon. Okay,
Right.
but not enough to be distracting.
I agree.
There's no sweetness to taste terrible.
that? No.
It doesn't have that artificial sweetness aftertaste.
Not only
whatsoever.
does it not have that, but it
This is
isn't
fine.
sweet at all.
It's not sweet. It's not bitter. This needs gin and lemon. Needs to be in a Tom Collins.
Oh,
That's what this needs.
that's why we
It's
love
hard to argue with that.
That's why we love having Mark
It
on the show.
doesn't taste of very alcohol. Like I don't
No.
taste of alcohol.
You
so
tasting-
you're right.
you
that's
tasting
the-
alcohol?
the
I don't-
mark
Not
is
really.
in the right
I
area.
wouldn't think there's alcohol in it at all.
You have a question for me, sir?
Is that a beverage of mystery in your pocket, or are you just happy to be here?
Both are true, but you are enjoying Gulf Coast Texas Vibes Premium THC beverage.
Yeah, once you
Nice.
said vibes, I knew it was
Yeah.
THC.
Pass that
you're
along.
not going to give me a drug test, are you?
No. Yeah, end of the show.
After the show.
Drug alcohol testing
I'm going
at
to
the end of the show.
show up to work one day. You're going to be like, we're having mandatory drug tests.
You know what? I like this, but I will point out, I think this is only 5 milligrams of THC.
Ingredients: sparkling water, lemongrass, basil, natural flavor, hemp, D9 extract.
Basil?
This tastes fine.
Yeah.
This is one of the best tasting of these that you've ever brought in.
It may be, but here's the thing. If you're trying to catch a buzz from this, it's only 5 milligrams of THC, so you're going to have to drink twice as many as the 10 milligram cans, and it's the same price. So think of it if your objective is to
Might
catch
be
a
a budget
buzz,
killer.
if your objective is to catch a buzz,
You got to go get something that tastes bad.
yeah, it's
Well,
it's
I
much
thought
more
I was
expensive.
getting some herbal, like basil, like
That
kind of
is
thing,
in
right?
there. We'll talk about it more when we
Yeah.
come back because
All
we
right.
got to take a break and we have some wines to taste as well. This is Smoking and Toasting. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And today, wine, as Marc Borel, our wine expert, is joining us for the program and has brought some wines that I'm really looking forward to tasting because wine is something I know. I probably know less about wine than I do about any of the things that we talk about here on the show, which means I know more about Nicolas Cage than I do
setting a
about
low
wine.
bar.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always excited to try and experiment, and I appreciate when you come on and bring these things and can tell us something about them. But
These are going to be fun.
yeah, if you're at a party, people are beginning to drink, beginning to get a little loosened up, and you want to come across like you are the person that knows things. You want to drop some knowledge. That's what the Drunken Fact is all about. We bring you facts that you... And, Mark, I almost wish you'd have been here last week because I think you might have had some, some additional input for us. Last week's Drunken Fact was we revealed that Harry Styles has 4 nipples,
Oh, how about that?
which is true, by the way.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. And I can't believe I didn't think about that because he
Yeah.
was on Saturday. He did a funny bit in encroaching on Harry Styles. On Ryan Gosling on SNL.
Right.
His intro was very funny. He was just there, and everyone was just watching him.
Yeah.
Is it only me, or should he be representing double mint gum?
I think you should. Yeah. Double the flavor, double the fun. I don't know. Anyway, that was a good one. We have a good one today. It's time for the Drunken Fact.
And now it's time for another Smoking and Toasting Drunken Fact.
And if we didn't explain this last time you were on, the only reason we continue to do this feature is because we love that fanfare so much. We just have to hear it at least once a week. So maybe 2. Your Drunken Fact for today. Are you ready for this? In 1992, 28,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea. They are still being recovered to this day.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So can you imagine you're stranded on a desert
still
island?
finding
You're
survivors?
seeing something floating in. You're thinking, oh, maybe it's like a message in a bottle. Maybe they're telling me they're coming to rescue me. And as it gets a little closer, you realize
Civilization, a can opener,
it's yellow.
rubber duck.
A rubber duck. What am I going to do with this?
Well, I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise, but there's a culture where people bring these little rubber ducks and hide them all over the ship
Oh, I
with
didn't
like
know
a
that.
little, either a tag or some sort of message like, "Congratulations, you found this. You're on this ship. You're on that." It's people are finding rubber ducks at
And people-
sea all the time.
People keep the rubber ducks and
Well, as
display
a-
them on their mantle. Or,
Sure,
yeah.
you can do that or hide it again and let somebody else do it.
Oh, okay.
Rehide
Yeah,
it. You take
yeah.
a picture of it and rehide it, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times what happens.
Did you find any on your cruise?
I've
that you went
seen
on?
them. I never picked any up.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen them
Yes.
waiting to be picked up, though.
But I've only been on 2 cruises, and,
Treats him like a chain
There's one
letter.
right underneath the upside down pineapple.
Yes.
It's good to know.
There's usually one right there.
And we won't explain the pineapple. We'll just let you find that one out on your own. That's
Another-
it.
Pineapples are
drunken
great gifts. What are you talking about?
Ian, did you have an opportunity to smoke anything interesting this week?
It's funny you should ask because I did. I went to an old friend this week. Something a little outside what I usually get. I got the, well, I'm going to say this, and you're going to be like, what do you mean outside? Oscar Valdez,
Oh yeah, this is totally off the normal path for you.
Superfly.
Hey, don't worry, because I'm going to go way left field when I talk about my cigar, because it
Has
was
something with
it was an
AJ
AJ Fernandez cigar. Yeah.
So Oscar Valdez, and I love all Oscar Valdez cigars. This is the Superfly Connecticut, which I hadn't had in a while, and I
Yeah.
just picked it up on a whim.
do love that cigar.
Well, I love the Superfly. The Superfly has got the darker wrapper, but the
This is the Connecticut.
This is
so
a
it's lighter.
Connecticut.
Okay.
Coming in
Do
with a
you listen
light
to the
brown
music and
wrapper,
watch the
smooth
movie?
with some veins, purple label, and gold 70s kind of theme on the label.
Yeah, it looks like
Superfly.
Yeah, Superfly. Exactly.
Pre-light sniff on this: fresh mowed grass, hay, hint of cinnamon and mint, apple blossoms, earthiness. Pre-light draw, I got some sweet nutmeg, mint, and it's a little tangy. There's a little tanginess on the lips, which I thought was interesting. The initial light on this: blast of mint.
Oh, a mint.
Weirdly enough.
Nicaraguan mint.
Yeah,
glass.
a little bit of mint and pepper, fermented hay, tangy spice, and a toasty finish. The first third of this comes in with nutmeg and toast, hints of citrus, mint, cinnamon with a woody finish, slightly uneven burn, and a solid ash. The retro hail on this was sweet with just a bare hint of coffee and fresh hay, fresh cut hay. The second third of this tangy lemon sweetness, white pepper evolved with strong cedar notes, minty sweet finish. Retro hail again is fresh cut hay and a little bit of coffee, oddly enough, which I didn't get in any other part of this.
That's interesting in a Connecticut wrapper. Yeah.
Perfect burn, solid ash. The last third of this, mild plus strength with really big flavor on this. So if you like a mild cigar, don't be afraid of this one. It's really, really nice. But it is going to be a big, bold flavor for a mild cigar, as much as much as you can take from that. The mint moves forward a little bit with hints of coconut and nutmeg. Cedar ramps up, hay and campfire with white pepper finish, solid ash, perfect burn. Price to quality coming in about $10. We're going to give it a solid 6.
All right. So the
Fantastic cigar.
price to quality scale for anyone who's not familiar, it's a 1 to 10 scale. Which we use for, kind of ranking the cigars, but it is tied to the price. So a 5 means you got what you paid for.
Correct.
Yeah, so you rank this a 6, and at a $10 cigar,
This punches a little above its weight class.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
saying
great
this
cigar.
is a great one. So, all right, we will look forward to that. We have a lot more to look forward to, including the beginning of the wine tasting, which I'm stoked about. That's next. It is Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, hand-rolled
love
cigars,
those things.
and
wine.
tasty wines, which is exciting for today. So we played the Suffers there as our bumper music coming back, and Marc was talking about this, came on one of his playlists, and all of a sudden he thought, oh, I'm in the studio. I gotta be ready to talk. So it's power suggestion. It's a powerful thing. I had a chance to smoke something interesting this week. I smoked the Casa Carrillo Encore Celestial, which is the Toro size of the Encore. Now, I always find it interesting to check in on cigars that ranked really high, especially in Cigar Aficionado's Cigar of the Year winners, a few years after they hit that peak.
Yeah, because then you could find them again.
Right, and after they become one of the most sought-after cigars out there, once the hubbub dies down, how well does the cigar maker do in maintaining both the quality and the reputation that this particular cigar achieved? So the Casa Carrillo Encore was Cigar Aficionado's Cigar of the Year in 2018. Our good friend Alan Denny worked for EP Carrillo back then, which has now been renamed Casa Carrillo, and he remembers how big of a deal that was and how for at least a little while they really struggled to keep them in stock because everybody wanted them and people wanted to try the number one cigar of the year. And, you don't, I guess, know this is coming. You might know you have a shot at it, but you don't know that it's coming till it happens. So all of a sudden you're like, we need more stock, and it takes a while to get that. So fast forward to 8 years later, how does the Encore hold up today? Have they lost any ground in the flavor department from what helped them net that number one slot? They're certainly easier to find in stock these days, so that's nice. The Encore line's interesting because it's a Nicaraguan Puro blended and produced by a Dominican company. Casa Carrillo is headquartered in the Santiago Free Trade District in the Dominican Republic. I remember smoking a couple of them back when they topped the list and liking them quite a bit. So I was excited about revisiting the Encore. The pre-light aromas were a little flowery, but earth and leather were the primary notes in the cold draw. I lit the Encore up and was welcomed by a mid-level Nicaraguan pepper blast. Wasn't like as big as some I've had, but it was definitely enough to qualify as a blast. It quieted down pretty quickly, but the pepper remained a dominant note all the way to the nub. There were nice notes of fermented tobacco underneath the pepper as I smoked through the first third, as well as caramel, leather, and some nuttiness. Nice mix of flavors that didn't wow me, but was very pleasant. Second third opened up a little bit with some creaminess added to the flavor profile. The nuts and caramel remained, and the pepper cranked up about a half notch or so. But partway into the second third, the Encore started to canoe a little bit. And a canoe, for those of you who are not familiar with the terms, when you're smoking a cigar and one side of it kind of smokes a lot faster than the other does, and it's kind of a canoe shape that it makes in the wrapper. So it wasn't a total disaster, but it definitely required a touch-up with the lighter. After I hit it, it took a few minutes for the additional harshness to fade, but the flavors did come back. The burn, unfortunately, remained a little inconsistent for the rest of my smoking time. I had it tinted again around the beginning of the final third and again got harshness for a few puffs. But then when the last third settled down, pepper and caramel carried the flavors the rest of the way. So I did quite enjoy the Encore, even if it didn't scream Cigar of the Year to me when I was smoking it. There was enough complexity to the flavor profile to keep it interesting all the way through. It ranged from medium to medium full in strength, so that worked well for me. At full price, the Casa Carrillo Encore is a $13 to $14 cigar. Now, of course, now that the hype of this #1 rating has died down a little bit, you can find these for less if you look. Bottom line, the Encore I smoked was not quite a contender for Cigar of the Year, but it was good. That said, I kind of expect the Cigar of the Year to burn better. And I hope the burn issues on the one I smoked were isolated rather than something that plagues the entire line. At $13 to $14, I would say it barely attains a 5 for me in price to quality. I mean, it was good, but if you find this for less, go for it. I have a lot of confidence in Casa Carrillo's ability to maintain a certain level of quality, and now that they've moved some of their focus to newer releases, you can probably find some deals on this one. So I'd say grab them if you can find a deal.
So you're 100% right. That's something that I keep in my humidor at all times because I do enjoy the Encores.
Yep.
And I love the EPC or the Casa Carrillo as it's now known today. And usually I find them, and I'll buy them when I can get them for under $6 a stick.
You know, my big find in the Casa Carrillo line of their older releases is the La Historia Doña Elena.
Oh, yeah.
You can find that one discounted pretty heavily sometimes online, and when you can, it may not be a great cigar at $14, but it's a great cigar at $9, and you can find it for that if you look. So that's my assessment. Worth it, but might not be the best one you've had in that price range.
Well, but since then, too, they've come out with the Pledge, the Allegiance, and the Pledge of Allegiance.
All of which are great.
Which are fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's hard to go wrong. I love pretty much all things Korea, so...
Yeah. Want to say a special thanks to our guest from last week from Maison Ferrand, Mr. Melvin Doxakis. We are thrilled that we had him on the show. He's always
Mortimer Doxakis.
Always a lot of fun.
Hey, Mel.
And he'll never be called by his real name again.
Nope.
But we are thrilled to have Marc on this week. Marc Borel got started coming on the show back when he was the sommelier at the Rainbow Lodge. Was it Rainbow Lodge when you first came on?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it was. Yeah.
Well, I was the beverage director there for 10 years.
Okay, so that's a good long time. Obviously, now you're on to other things, but you're still very much involved in the wine industry, and you're still very much a guy that knows what to taste for.
Yeah, I own and operate a small travel agency called Global Gourmet Vacations that focuses on culinary travel. So
food and wine.
I love the name Gourmet Vacation.
Yeah, right?
That just sounds great, doesn't it?
Those are two words when put together that kind of
alliteration
it's bigger,
is a fun
right?
thing.
Yeah.
Honey, what should we do? Should we have a staycation, a vacation, or a gourmet vacation? I think that's an obvious choice.
Well, the thing was, I travel often, and I've been to wineries, I've been to distilleries, and people ask me, where should I go? What should I do? Where should I eat?
Right. If I'm going to
Yeah.
this region, what are the places I should absolutely see?
Right.
Yeah.
And let me make a phone call, and I'll hook you up at this distillery or this winery
Right.
or that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's always nice to be, a little bit on the inside when you arrive. So
That's a little
I like
bit
that.
specialized too, but that's very
And that's
cool.
what your Global Gourmet's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Mom.
Yeah, no,
I
but
love
that's
it.
really good because you're right. There's a lot of places that specialize in certain kind of trips, Disney trips and stuff. But this is actually, yeah.
So-
Now, can you fix me up with like a trip of just going to like 50 McDonald's?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
tour of McDonald's.
Actually, he has. There's a new package out. I don't know if Marc has this, but there is a new package called the Trump McDonald's Tour, and you basically tour all the McDonald's that Trump has appeared at and bought stuff. So Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of heavy in the D.C. area, Florida. But it's a big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's out there. You can find that. Marc's poured us a wine here, and I'm excited to get to it. Is this what is this?
So this is Albarino.
Okay, now I know everything I need to know.
See?
What is Albarino?
It's a weird word, and it has Portuguese roots, and that's because the region that Albarino comes from is that little piece of land that sits up on top of Portugal, but still within Spain.
So this is a place, Albarino.
Rias Baixas is the place where this comes from. Albarino is the grape.
Okay,
But the
gotcha.
interesting thing about this region and the fact that this varietal does so well there is because these two bodies of water intersect there on the corner of the Iberian Peninsula and sends a good amount of sea spray quite a bit far inland. And what you get is something that's crisp and bright and almost has a little bit of salinity to it. That's kind of what Albarino is known for.
This is outstanding. I was going to say on the nose, it's one of my favorite white wines I've ever taken a nose on. It's just wonderful.
Well,
wonderful
and here's
flavors.
And here's an interesting. You're right. This is a Pouty Pander. This is a great wine for spring and summer.
There's a slight creaminess to it that's absolutely fantastic.
The interesting thing about that lemon cream pie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has that tartness, that stinging tart that
Which I
kind of
love.
cuts through.
Yeah.
But there is a slight
Yeah,
creaminess.
just
And
underneath
I think
it.
that has a lot to do with the salinity that
It kind
you're
of
getting.
softens it up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, and it's not. It's 12%, so it's not it's super high in alcohol. But one of the things that I also wanted to point out is that, and I know your listeners are from everywhere, but here in Houston, I picked all of these up at a local HEB.
Oh wow.
So these are not
are
only
easy to find.
accessible,
Yeah.
they're easy to find, and they're affordable for the most part.
And what is a bottle like this one?
This one I have down for like $12.
Wow.
Yeah,
That may be one of the best under $30 whites I've ever tasted.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take a picture of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is one of those that you really, really need to try for that kind of price.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I brought it. The producer's Martin Kodak's. It's a producer. It's a rather large producer. I mean, you don't get expensive wines from bigger houses. That's the point of it. They make a lot of wine. Their wines aren't quite as expensive, but I think this one over delivers for the money.
Big time. For 12 Are you kidding?
Yes.
In
Yeah.
this economy, a $12 wine this good?
Really.
Holy moly.
And that's one of the reasons. Everything we have today is going to be relatively inexpensive.
Love
but
that.
Totally over delivered.
Yeah, and that's one of my I guess complaints sometimes about some of the reviews or shows that I see for wine or for spirits. Like if you're reviewing a $150 bottle of wine, I might be able to splurge on that one time in my entire
Right,
life.
birthday, anniversary,
Right.
celebration.
But you talk to me about a really good $12 wine. That's something I can pick up on the way home. I know Ian, mentioned he wanted a photo of that. And Ian, you're welcome. This particular bottle, you're welcome to come over to my house anytime, and what's left of it, I'll save the bottle for you so you can take that picture that you need. Because this is really good, Marc. It's bright. It's got tons of flavor. Sometimes with white wines, you're like, okay, it's buttery and it's nice, but it isn't necessarily a standout. This is a standout.
Yeah. Well, Albarino is one of those things, and you almost can't go wrong if you're at the grocery store and you're looking for something crisp and bright and refreshing, and perhaps it's the first glass of the day, which it is, or a reception wine for an event you're having.
Oh, big time! Yeah.
It's also the second glass of the day.
Yeah.
Which is, it has that going for it.
I
Which
think
is
the reception thing's interesting because the way the taste of it there, I think it would be accepted by so many people.
Well,
even
Yeah, it's
not
a
regular
Goldilocks.
wine
It's
drinkers,
one of those right in the middle. Even if you like the buttery oaky, even if you like the tannic and heavy, this is something that a lot of people can connect with.
Yes.
So and this doesn't have the butteriness, but it has that slight softness that we talked about,
Silky.
the slight creaminess to it underneath that just really and then it's tart on the finish.
I was going
It's
to say what I like
complex.
is that the finish has that sort of tart citrusy vibe to it.
And it makes
that-
you want to drink more.
Yes,
Yes.
it's the Doritos effect. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, it has a screw cap.
Yeah.
It does. A modern
Okay.
screw top. A company keeps up with the times.
There you go.
I like it, and this is perfect for if you are having a party or an event and you're trying. Okay, I'm going to make sure we have several bottles of a white, several
Yes.
bottles of a red. This is a bottle of white that's not going to kill your budget, and everybody's going to be.
I'm
impressed.
imagining this with a Gouda, or maybe even a Gouda with dill and apples.
Dill I didn't think would be great because it's also got that tartness
Yeah.
to it. But I like where you're going with, especially something aged, something that has a bit more bite to it. Like the creaminess, yes, but like an aged Gouda that has those little crystals in it that you chew. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that
Yeah,
when you get that
kind
little
of just
crunchiness.
pop a little
Well,
bit
think about
around.
this. I think the dominant flavor here is, aside from citrus, is pear.
Yeah.
Yes.
And pears and cheese go really great together. So not only that, but they also say eat where you drink. So this comes from Spain. Think things like spicy chorizo,
Or like
something
it
that
just-
has an oiliness to it.
yeah,
that this will
like
cut
it-
through.
This would be great if you can find this at like a tapas place. This would go so
Like a great,
perfectly.
like,
with-
char-
I would
charcuterie
be
board.
shocked if you couldn't find an Albarino of some sort at a tapas place.
That is good to know because and see, I wasn't necessarily familiar with Albarino. What is it about these grapes that make them a little different?
It's the location. It's the region. in
Proximity
Rias
to the
Biaches.
sea.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you get more so than a lot of other wines, you get that a little bit of salty, that tiny bit of salinity to it that gives it a bit
And
more
a lot of
character.
my favorite scotches have that I'm right by the sea
For the same
vibe
reason.
to them as well, and have a little bit of that flavoring, and I love it. Being a frustrated sailor, which means I don't know how to sail, but I wish I did, but I'm not going to buy a boat. So if you have one, please invite me. That's kind of
Speaking of scotches, I have to do a bottle kill event at some point.
yeah.
Yeah, I am revamping my my whiskey shelf, and I have quite a few like under a quarter
Sounds like a show.
bottles.
I might have a few that can contribute.
You know what? We,
have to do,
should
like, a
just
bottle
do.
kill
We
event.
should just do a bottle kill show. Like how many bottles could we like finish? Right? Because I have a bunch of those as well.
Sponsored by Uber.
Right. That's absolutely right. Well, Mark, this is
wine is
delicious.
exquisite.
Tell everybody the name and show the
It
label and
is
stuff
from
again.
Martin Kodak's. It's an Albarino. This one happens to be from 2024.
I love the
You
loot on the
drink
front.
young.
Well-
12 to $15 at my local HEB, but
If-
you can find it anywhere.
If the wines get better from here, this is going to be a great show. All right, we have to take a break, and we will return. Smoking and Toasting is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and we will be right back.
Nice.
I think you should add percussionists to your list of.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to do that thing where he makes the wine glass sing. Did it work? I felt the vibration.
These are good glasses, but they're not that good.
Yeah, apparently so. For those of you who aren't watching on
Oh, he's
video,
doing it.
Ian is trying to do that thing where you rub your
I got
finger around
something
the
out
top
of
of the
it,
glass
yeah.
and get a sound. It was pretty good, actually. It was
was.
pretty good. Marc Borel is our guest. He is one of our smoking and toasting experts. He's our wine expert, and he always brings good stuff. But I got to say, you kind of outdid yourself with that opening white. So
Yeah.
I hope you didn't set the bar too high.
Where do we
I
go
didn't,
from here?
I didn't bring any bubbles this time,
Oh.
so I thought I had to make up for it by.
I was
Okay.
going to say I'm a little disappointed that there are no
you know what?
bubbles,
Me
but-
too. But
yeah.
I think we'll end up pretty well.
All right. Well, we
Absolutely.
definitely started off strong, and Mark was very specific that we needed to try these next two wines side by side. So that's what we're going to
Yep.
do in this segment. So tell us about the first one. This is a blush or
it's
a rosé?
pink. It's
pink.
rosé. And I brought rosé before, and I've talked about how you make it. There are 3 or 4 different ways that you can make it. One is Saignée, where they take a bunch of red grapes and macerate it, and then pull part of it to make rosé, and the rest of it goes. But basically, how colored wine is made, the skins of the grapes color the juice of the grapes, right?
Right.
Like coffee or tea, it steeps in those skins and changes the wine's color. Well, these red grapes will steep for just a short amount of time to make the rosé,
Right.
and they'll steep for a longer amount of time to
make
the
a red wine.
Right.
Okay.
And think about how that also makes the wine taste.
It makes sense because if you think about a cup of tea,
Yep.
if you steep it for a very short amount of time, you get a much lighter color and a much lighter taste. steep it for longer, you get something more full-bodied
Right.
and
Well,
and
also,
a darker,
like
darker
just
color.
from eating grapes, like when you have that grape skin,
Yeah,
the skin itself is always very kind of
tart.
tart. Yes.
Well, and what happens when you're, that's a great analogy, because when you're eating the grape and you get that burst of juice and then it's sweet, and then sooner or later all that's left are the skins and the seeds, and your mouth turns dry,
very
and it's
dry, yeah.
bitter but not in a bad way. That's tannins. You get the same thing from the skin on walnuts.
Yeah.
It's what appears under your cork when you open an older bottle. That's all tannin structure. We're going to taste something later that's got a good amount of tannins, and you'll be able to taste that. But the lighter the wine, the more it tastes like grape juice and not like something.
I could
else,
just live
right?
in how this smells. It smells so
the
good.
smell is
This is
wonderful.
so good.
I mentioned during the break, because I took my first sort of sniff of this, and I said it almost just reminds me of a sweet tart.
Yeah.
The candy.
So-
That is so unique.
I'm going to kind of spoil it by saying I keep this at home 100% of the time. There's always this in my house, and it's because I'm a rosé fan. I love rosé, and specifically rosés from southern France, and I think that they do just such a great job. This is from southern France, from the Rhone Valley, even though it says Vin de France, which means wine of France. It's a lower classification. It's just because they've sourced this producer, by the way, the Perrin people who make Chateau Beaucastel, who make some Chateauneuf du Pape, who are very big in the region of southern France, are producing this wine. I'm a big fan for rosé. This is Cinsault and Grenache and some Syrah, and they just do such a beautiful job. The reason I wanted to put them both together is because the red I brought sitting next to it comes from the same producer.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about this, I told you that these are value wines, these are accessible wines, these are available wines. These are available not just in bottle, but they're available in 4-pack cans, which I think are really cool.
Really?
4-pack cans.
Interesting.
I love it.
And a box.
Wow.
Oh, you can get this in a box.
I made a box joke earlier.
You did, and I brought you a box wine.
I love this. I love this.
That's what we're drinking right now.
We are drinking this box wine. This is from La Vie Ferme. It is arguably their lower end style of wine that is made in a box. But I'll tell you this: you go into France, into a grocery store in France, specifically in southern France, and you will see boxes from producers that are high quality. Because here's the thing: this bottle is heavy. Right? It also has to have individual capsules on it. You can put 4 bottles in this box.
I was going to ask you, how much, quantity-wise?
3 liters. There's
3 liters. So
3
it's
liters.
around 4 bottles of wine,
Yeah,
right?
and it's the bladder inside of it. There's a bag inside that will shrink depending on how much wine has been taken out of it.
Shrinks without allowing air in, so it
Exactly.
keeps the
So
wine,
this
right?
thing, they say 2 to 3 months, but I think you can get a good 4 months out of it if it lasts that long. In my house, this lasts maybe 3 weeks. But the best part of it is, for me at least, is that I get home, I might want a cocktail, maybe I want a glass of wine, but I don't want a whole bottle.
Well, so that's the commitment, right? That's why a lot of times I don't drink wine because, like, it's fine if you're committed to it. Mm-hmm. But there's a whole bottle that you have to drink in the next day or so.
If you got friends over, you're probably going to, do the bottle in. That's one thing. But, yeah, just by yourself, it's like, not always. I mean, sometimes you might do a whole bottle, but this is, not always.
Mm-hmm.
And
those
Then it's
things
like, how
that have
long
the
is this
long
gonna
needle
keep?
that allow you to pour like one thing out of there.
It's called Corvette. I have one.
Those are expensive.
They are, and I use those when I want to keep, something, when I want to have something a bit more expensive or this. But here's the thing: now I'm not saying this is the best rosé out there, but it certainly isn't the worst. And I have no problem keeping this in my house.
Okay,
There's
so
one in
that
my refrigerator.
That box, which is about the equivalent of 3 bottles, what does that cost?
$24
For the box?
for the box.
It's 4 bottles.
It's 4 bottles.
It says 3 liters equals 4 bottles right there on the side.
Yeah.
Wow.
20
So the
They
bottle,
do the math
the
for
bottle,
you.
if you were to buy the
They
bottle,
do toilet paper math on it.
the bottle is like $8 itself. The 4-pack
$12.
cans, they're little 250 ml cans, are maybe $10 or $12. But this box is $24.
So this red that you've poured us, that's a...
The red is
Are you
really,
getting this at HEB?
yes.
HEB, by the way, is one of our local stores. If you don't have that, like you may be able to find it. I don't know, a Kroger or a.
Yeah, sure. It's not an unattainable.
There's your other affiliates
you
all
can
over
find
the
this.
United States.
I know it's at Total. I know it's at Specs. You can find these all over. The red, also from the same producer. It's just their red version of this wine. So I kind of wanted to have them side by side.
Okay,
Also,
so
it has a
we're-
large cock on the outside of this.
Yeah, so that's a thing to watch out for.
And a small chicken.
Yeah. I just took my first sip of the red. We got to talk about this when we come back. Hour 2 is on the way. It's Smoking a Toast. Welcome back to Smoking a Toast, and our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And today, wines. And so I don't know whether to be like super excited or actually a little disappointed. Yeah,
Hey.
thank you for being happy.
We're happy, but we're classing it up today.
That's right. Terry has a good
Okay.
point. This is the
I wore
classier
my
show.
Ron Burgundy shirt
Yeah.
because of this, because he's classy.
It's classy. It's
I have
classy.
many leather-bound books.
So what I was going to mention, though, is that we ask our wine expert to come on, bring us great wines. And I suppose I'm to blame for this because I'm always telling him, bring some wines that are really good but that people can actually afford. And so today,
you can find them and afford them. That's kind of important.
we call that the anti-Christopher Hart doctrine.
The anti-Christopher Hart method.
Yeah.
And
But-
also, like it's like trying to read one of the end of year lists about the cigars. You can't find those.
Right.
Half of them are Cuban. You can't
Right.
find them. It's like let's just talk about stuff you can go down and actually just buy. And I love that about what you're bringing to the table here.
Yeah. And this is, despite the fact that he brought a box of wine, it's actually good. So now it raises this bigger question of there's nothing inherently wrong with boxed wines. So,
There can be nothing inherently wrong with it.
okay, fair enough. So if I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, okay, what would be worth it? This is, and I think we should show that box again. Can
Yeah,
you
sure.
reach back and get that box
What is
again?
this? I'm gonna let you guys finish talking about that. There's an incredible unique flavor in this next one.
Oh, yeah. The next one we're going to get to because it's from the same winery.
Is this on camera?
So
So
again,
this is,
There we go.
I will be buying this.
yeah, that's fantastic.
Now the red that you're having comes in a box as well.
Okay.
So you can't find that in as many places as you can find the rosé, but yeah, I just thought it was really great. I have no problem drinking this at home. In fact, I have clients and customers who will buy this and then put them in decanters. Not because they're trying to fool anybody, but it's because one of them said, "Yeah, but I'll keep going back to the box, and I'll just keep getting another glass after another glass. With a bottle, at least you know you finished the bottle." And I said,
Oh,
"Great."
okay.
Then you fill a decanter, and you know that when you finish that decanter,
That's how much. Yeah.
either go back for more or be done.
Right. Well, this is excellent. And how do you say?
La Vie Ferme, it means the old
La Vie
farm.
Ferme, the old farm. And it's got chickens and
It's got cocks
roosters
and
on
chickens
it.
on it,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we got this is fantastic. Now the red, which you said is also available in a box. This is at the same time kind
It has
of
the
light
same
and
cock on it.
kind of light and very full flavored.
Yeah, so similar grapes. It comes from the same part of France. This is actually kind of my jam. These French, this style of French wine is what I like. The Syrah, the Grenache, the Mourvedre. There's no Mourvedre here, but
They both have a slight funky flavor to them that I absolutely adore. And when I say funky, I mean that in the best possible way. This has a slight funky flavor to it, like in the beer world, like a Saison has, or Farmhouse Ale.
Barnyardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
right.
a little bit of that. It's not like Saddle Blanket, but it's
What
it's just a thing. It's so unique and so interesting right here.
I feel like it's got the body and the sort of consistency of something more like a Pinot Noir, but the flavor is kind of cranked
Yeah,
up.
no, I think
Finish
you
is
nailed it.
totally
Because
different.
it's lighter in body, like Pinot is. It's a bit fruity, like Pinot is, but it has some heft to it. It has some depth to it. It has some interesting notes that you don't find with a lot of Pinots.
Very impressive.
It has a very dry but very precision kind of finish to it too.
Yep.
And is this in the same price range as the rosé?
In fact, I think the red might be a little less.
Oh my goodness, this is so impressive because look, especially in like the economic times that we find ourselves in. I think some people are drinking less just because of the economics of it right now. Some people are saying, no, I want to drink a little less. But some people are just like, I just can't afford to buy a bottle of wine and enjoy it with my, significant other tonight because it's going to be $50 or it's going to be $70.
Yeah,
or
especially
whatever.
if you're looking in like the local, the magazines and stuff. And sometimes you're like, oh, the best wines you should try right now. You see those on the internet and stuff like that, and then all the wines are $40 to $50 each. Which, hey, it's fine if $40 and $50 wines and you've got no problem buying 20 of them. Good on you. You're in a good place.
Right, exactly.
For me, I got to go a little more budget friendly.
Well, and then on the topic of boxed, there are really great box wines out there. In fact, one of them is called Really Great Box Wine. But
Okay, so stop, because people can remember that.
Yeah.
Really Great Box Wine
Absolutely, but
is one that might be worth it?
yes, and it is absolutely worth it. The challenge is that a lot of these they come from specific winemakers who don't release them for retail. In other words, you have to go to their website, you have to order it, it has to be shipped in, that
Right.
kind of thing. And a lot of these really good box wines, including that one, have to be shipped in. And that's fine. I have worked with these people before, but I wanted today to bring you things that were readily available, easy.
I love that, yeah.
You're
So
like in the mood. I'm just going to pop over to the store.
So what you're saying is if you find a wine that's really good and they offer it in a box, that allows you the versatility of having that box available and it doesn't go bad. You don't have to have it.
That's
You
right.
don't have to finish it in the next day,
That's right.
in the next 2 days.
I'm
You
a
don't
big
have to have
proponent
special
in
device.
the fact that you drink what you like, and if it's the $6 stuff at Target, I say go for it. I'd rather you drink that than nothing at all. So it's very wine is subjective. It's like art, right? Just because I like it, just because I made a living doing it, doesn't mean that I'm right.
Right.
Well,
because
and
you need to
there's
drink what you
something to be said for Jack in the Box taco.
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
sometimes it's the right thing.
It's
It's
Jack in
never
a box of wine.
it's never a good choice.
to the point,
but
though.
sometimes it's the right thing.
To the point, though, that one of my favorite restaurants in town, and there's one just a few blocks from us here, they have an item on their menu from time to time called the J&B Taco, and it is basically an upscaled version.
It's
at Liberty Kitchen.
outrageously
It's an
good.
upscaled version of the same ingredients that they put into the Jack, and it's freaking
It's
fabulous.
so good.
It's so good. It's so good that if it's not on the menu, I actually will ask.
They took
if they
they
can make
took
it.
they took the Jack in the Box taco and didn't just dump the whole thing in grease.
Right. It's just
Well, I mean, but
it's so good.
that's the whole idea behind that particular taco. La Lucha does the same thing, but made it with shrimp, and they deep fry the whole thing. And it's like so good.
I like that there's just like a whole piece of cheese in the Jack in the Box.
Maybe it's the wine talking, but I'm enjoying this food conversation very, very, very much. So, but it's true.
Again, classing it up.
This
with
makes me want like
classy
a
food.
beef stew
Yeah.
kind of thing. Makes me want to go to Cafe Brussels and get that beef stew they have over
But
there.
it also has a little peppery kick to it, so it
Yeah,
would be great with
for
steak
sure.
au poivre or that kind of thing. And not just French stuff. You know what this would go great with? Jack in the Box tacos.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And,
know what I mean?
pairing things up is important. So what do you pair with this? The wildest beer collaboration of the year comes from Breakside Brewery. I think we've had some beers.
Breakside Brewery and a bear.
I think we've had some beers from Breakside Brewery on here before. But they teamed up with Columbia Sportswear to release a beer called Nature Calls. And Nature Calls is made partially with bear poop infused water used in the brewing process.
They make filters for that.
Yeah. It's hard for me to imagine, but the sportswear company teamed up with this brewery in Portland, Oregon, Breakside Brewery.
I can just picture a bear
And-
like pooping in a stream and a guy just
Yeah.
down the stream
Yeah,
just catching this. It's infused water.
He's got a net. Looks like he's trying to catch a butterfly.
It's infused water.
Well, they go through so much trouble to filter and make
Well, listen.
really great water.
You know where you have to go to get it, because the question, of course, does a bear poop in the woods? The answer is yes. So you're going to go into the woods, gather the bear poop, infuse it
Harvest.
into the water. Harvest. Thank you.
Harvest.
Harvest is the
That's
important
so much
word.
better.
Columbia brand president Joe Boyle credits Breakside's excellent beer and willingness to experiment with the successful collaboration between the two brands.
Between them and bear poop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And then the bears. We're
I'm
collaborating
a little
with
lost
the bears.
because there was a moment where someone said, "You know what this beer needs," and I just like.
And I laughed at our
How
friend.
do you know what it tastes like so you can add what?
right.
And
right.
I laughed at our friend in the beer club that used ants.
Oh my gosh!
So here's some facts for you. The American black bear's omnivorous diet includes foraged ingredients like berries and honey.
There's something about
Tasting
this
notes.
particular stream. I just love the flavor.
Tasting notes that come through in the lager.
In the log.
Yeah. I don't know. They explain that Nature Calls is made with a mix of Idaho malted barley, low color wheat, and corn, then dosed with honey and huckleberry syrup after lagering. And of course, the water is beer poop water. Bear poop water.
Yeah, beer poop is much better.
Yeah,
beer poop is
I-
alcohol.
And actually accurate.
Yes.
Yeah, right. He says this beer has
Bear poop is a little scary.
He says this beer has the lightness of a seltzer across the back of the palate. So it doesn't actually taste like bear poop. Not that I would know what bear poop actually tastes like.
Well, if it doesn't taste like bear poop, why put bear poop in it?
I think these
That's
days
a valid question.
these
actually.
days it's anything to get attention, right?
I mean, I get it. Salt accentuates other flavors when it's done lightly, right?
I
Right.
get it when you mix it with pizza flavor or something like that, Voodoo Ranger. But
Nature Calls is available at Breakside 7 Oregon locations and will come in a can complete with a depiction of a bear and its pile of poop.
Can
on
I get the
label.
name of the bear?
I don't know if we know the name of the bear.
Like, I want my bear. I want to know the name of the bear that I'm drinking out of his backside.
Yeah.
well, you've heard of Smokey.
Yeah.
This is not Smokey.
This sounds like a frat party that went completely wrong. Like
In an unrelated story,
we got this bear. He's laying down in the other room. We're gonna pour some beer and let it drizzle down. I don't know what's going on here anymore.
in an unrelated story, the
Wait. How are they spelling bear? Because that's important too.
BEAR. BEAR.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good to know. In an unrelated story, by the way, the Disney Corporation has announced it is completely revamping the Country Bear Jamboree ride, and it will be sponsored by Nature Calls. I'm sorry, that's not true. I made that up. But that would be
that's
funny.
hilarious.
That would be funny if you go to see the Country Bear Jamboree and the bears are playing their instruments and they're like, now it's time to brew some beer.
Was the country bear? Was that the? Didn't they have? Remember the country bears with and the grandpa was always like, is that the ones I'm thinking
I
of?
think it may be. Yeah.
The animatronic
They were always
bears.
they were always out on the porch with their overalls.
Yeah.
Yes,
I will
yes.
admit my memory of the Country Bear Jamboree is a little spotty, and it may have been because I was drinking bear poop beer when I was at the park. So yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine though?
No.
Can you even imagine?
No.
Ian, you're one who goes like when you visit a brewery, you're likely to go in and say, "What do you have that I haven't tried?"
Yes.
Yeah, and I can see the bartender going, "Well, sir, have
The
I
corners
got
of his mouth turn.
have I got a beer for you?" I think we have finally answered the age-old question: does a bear poop in the woods? And the answer is yes, and it gets turned into beer water.
Harvested.
Harvested. Thank you.
Cheers.
You're using the right language. Okay.
I'm just saying, when the Native Americans were using buffalo biscuits, as it were,
Yeah.
for fuel for the fire.
Yep.
Probably didn't make the food taste any better.
Probably didn't. We got to take a break, and we will return with more wine. And I think after all this talk, it's time for some whiskey. So we'll do that next. Ooh,
Nice.
that was particularly good.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, hand-rolled cigars, and wines today. We'll get back to the wine in a few moments, but I think it's time to do a little whiskey tasting, so we're going to get to that next. I was just imagining, though, like the guy who came up with the idea for the bear poop beer, it must have started when he was a kid, like you're going hunting with his dad, going bear hunting with his dad, and his dad's pointing at the ground and going, look, there's bear scat. This is how we know the bear is nearby, right? And so they continue to hunt the bear. but the little boy's thinking, one day, I'm going to grow up and put this bear scat to use.
Look at all this being wasted.
My daddy told me about Davy Crockett. He killed a bear when he was only 3. But me, I have decided to do something else.
Yeah, something constructive. That's right. That's
I
absolutely
want to
right.
use
So
every part of that there bear.
if you can find, but listen, if anyone is anywhere where you can get your hands on
No bear left behind.
on the Nature Calls beer, if you will send it to us, I will send you back so much Texas beer. It'll be like a 15-to-1 ratio. We'll drown you in Texas, in good Texas beers, if you want to send that to us. So that's the way
What's
you
the
go.
brewery name again?
It is Breakside Brewery.
Breakside.
Where is that from?
Is
Oregon.
Breakside Brewery? Yeah, they're out of Oregon. They're
Oregon.
out of Portland, I believe.
I
Yes,
do believe
Portland,
they have
Oregon.
bears in Oregon.
Yeah.
All right.
And in the woods.
I have an aunt that lives up there.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get it. I'm reluctant because I want to get it because that would be good, but then I also don't want to try.
No, seriously, if we can get them on the show, I think not only would we be able to taste the beer, but we could definitively answer once and for all the age-old question, does a bear poop in the woods?
Well, if we have an expert harvesting,
Right. If you got the harvesting guy on, you go, not only
The
does a
harvesting
bear
guy has to be the one.
not only does a bear poop in the woods, but I gather it. I harvest it. I am a hunter-gatherer, mostly a gatherer.
hunter-gatherer.
I even heard a tree. I even saw a tree fall once, and it did not make a sound.
That's right. And by the way, I can clear this one up. The Pope is Catholic.
Ah,
Yeah,
No,
but
it
does
is.
the Pope putting poop in the woods?
No, and that's I've always confused. I've confused those as a bear Catholic. Does the Pope poop in the woods? Yeah, I've said that before, and my life hasn't gone so well. So I'm kind of steering away from
That's what I
The answer to
blasphemy.
one is depends on geographics, and the
Yeah.
answer to 2 is depends on geographics.
yeah. Thank you for
I
clearing
was
that
raised in Catholic school, so those
Yeah.
were the jokes.
up. Yeah. So Ian has poured this Wild Turkey 101 8-year. And so you said Wild Turkey 101
right.
normally is what, a 6 to 7 year. So this is a little extra aging.
It's a little more. So here's the thing: if you don't like wild turkey,
Yeah,
you probably don't like bourbon.
probably true.
I feel like wild turkey is about the baseline for what bourbon is, and it's good.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Wild Turkey 101 kicks it up a notch. This is Wild Turkey 8-year, 101 8-year. And they released this last year, and it's fantastic. I'm not going to lie. This is probably my 3rd bottle of this.
Oh, so no wonder you hadn't bothered to clear the neck.
I actually have
he's
a
got an
bottle
open one, I know.
that has about a little over 2/3 of it left in it. Me and Roberto were hitting the other night.
Yeah. How is Roberto?
Oh, he's going to be on soon.
Good, I'm gonna
We
be
booked
good.
him
Because
on.
I have
For-
a lot of questions about him. I don't know if you've seen him on
Well, we have a
television
couple
lately,
ideas.
lately,
First, the
but
first
he's
one
been on
is
TV.
You know how picky he is about his mixed drinks, right?
Yes.
And his mixed drinks are always like it's got a fat wash and it's got like
right.
all
No,
this other
he's
infused.
seriously into it. Yes.
Right. So we're gonna have him do our blind pre-mix margarita taste test with us.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's good.
And then he's gonna tell us what's wrong with everything.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have him do an actual real like fresh margarita.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
That's gonna be a good one.
This
He
is
was
gonna
on
be
TV
fun.
with my friend Cindy Bourbano, and they did this little, I don't know what it was, telenovela thing. They do a show on Fox.
Oh, that was funny.
And
I
it
saw
was-
that.
Did you see that? That
Yeah.
was funny.
Well, I-
Roberto acting. That was
I'm
great.
excited because I've been going back and rewatching the first several seasons of The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, which is the adaptation of the Michael Connelly books, and the star, the guy
Is that like Abraham Lincoln versus zombies?
No,
because
but
that was awesome.
That was also good. But no, this is just the Lincoln
Historically
Lawyer.
accurate.
But the Lincoln Lawyer in the TV show has his accent is exactly like Roberto's. So every time he comes
I love
on and says something, in my mind I'm picturing Roberto saying this, which I have to say has elevated my thinking regarding Roberto. Like, because this guy on the show is pretty.
So now
happening
he's
and smart.
smarter. Now Roberto's a lawyer.
Roberto's a lawyer and cocktail maker, so we're excited to have him back on the program soon. But we're very excited to have Marc Borel in today's show because not only does Marc obviously know his wines, but he's also no slouch in the spirits department. Your thoughts on the Wild Turkey 101 8-year?
So a lot of sweetness on the nose. That extra time in the barrel gives it a bit more caramel, a bit more like burnt sugar kind of
That's
thing.
why I like it's the caramel. I love that.
It's a little spicier in the
It is.
on the tongue, which I expected because knowing turkey, especially the 101 like I do, I know it's high rye. I know there's a large rye component to it.
Yeah,
which
I was
gives
going to
you
say
a
it
bit more.
reminds me of a rye. Not quite there in the taste.
And spicy, I'm going to say not all of it, but a large part of that spiciness is very cinnamony. There's a little kiss of bubblegum on the very tail end of the flavor, on the very tail end of the palate.
And
honestly.
I'm getting some like almost brown butter on the exhale.
Yes.
That I
Ian,
think is really nice.
What does this bottle cost?
35-ish.
All right, we're going to be stopping at Specs on the way home.
Yeah, it's totally
I
worth
mean,
it.
it's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great bottle.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Smoking and Toasting is on the air everywhere. That's Ian uncorking the bottle to pour me a little bit more, which is a wonderful thing. Ian, you mentioned, I think during the break you adjusted what the price was.
It's
of this bottle.
$45 if I'm looking online. Total wine.
That's
those
still
places.
an amazing
It's so
price
good.
for this whiskey.
It's so
just-
good. Like again, just Wild Turkey, such classic. I mean, that's bourbon.
Yeah.
And the 101, of course, always kicks it up a little bit, and the 101 8-year just takes that and adds a little complexity to it. It's
What's the what you said? The regular year is just about 6 years on the regular 101.
yeah, I think it's between 6 and 7.
So it's just 2 years that's making a year or two that's making it
You
this
know,
much better.
Marc commented that this is a little like a rye because it's got some rye components there. And to me, that's what makes this a perfect balance because I love ryes, but sometimes I want that bourbon sweetness too.
Yeah.
And so this is able
Sometimes you're in the mood for something like Whistle Pig that's 100% rye.
Right, that's
And
all about the
sometimes you want
spice and the-
a high
the
rye
heat,
that's
yeah.
got the it's got the bones of it, but there's that little sweetness that rounded out.
Yeah, well,
And what's funny because I love this, and then when I want something different, one of my other go-tos is a wheated bourbon. I love Weller. Special Reserve is, and it's very different sides of
we've
it.
had
you know?
that on the show before, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's a standard at my house. This
Love
Wild Turkey 101, and now the 8-year is a standard at my house. As a matter of fact, I don't know how long they're going to make it because sometimes they discontinue these things. So I have 2 extra bottles at my house because
Just in case.
you know.
You
never know.
This is a man who knows how to plan and prepare for emergencies, like they're no longer making the 8-year. You know,
That's
that
right.
That would be
Just in case.
the kind of emergency. Well,
And if they keep making it, that's fine. I'll drink it.
you'll drink more. Yeah, make all you want. We'll drink more.
Yeah.
Well, it's notable.
There's honey on that too.
Yeah, it's notable.
So good.
How good this is, and it's also time for drinking news.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said he had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said,
I had to take my gator to the vet.
drinking
Marc
news,
Borel, ladies and gentlemen.
drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news.
Cheers, Al. Well, before we get, nicely done, nicely done. And again, this whiskey is so good. Wow, it's going to make drinking news even better. For me, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, it's going to be
me, it's
even
I'm
awesome.
already enjoying it.
Before we get to our main story in today's drinking news, here's one that I just couldn't resist. We don't have a specific date or locale for this story, but it was related online from someone who was actually there when it happened, so first-person account. The individual who reported this incident tells the story of his job working nights at a gas station convenience store. Now, as you can imagine, working there can have the fact of introducing you to plenty of rather odd but regular customers, including, some that for one reason or another have a tendency to stand out a little bit, like you notice them, right? This was the case with one of the customers specifically, who came into the store every night to buy cigarettes and also rented movies a couple of times. You can probably remember when convenience stores, some of them would have a rack of DVDs they would rent. So as a
Remember
result,
Blockbuster?
yeah. Well, as a result, this convenience store had his full name and address on record because of the video rentals. Yeah. So this particular customer was not only a regular, but he was also easily recognizable, not only because he always wore the same clothes, but specifically because the man had only one eye, and the other was covered by an eye patch. Now, I don't mean to go on a tangent here, but when I think about a guy with an eye patch, I'm always reminded of the lazy script writing of one of the most popular television soap operas of all time. I'm talking about the long-running show Days of Our Lives.
Sorry, I already started laughing.
Which has been
Hands for the hourglass.
It's been around since the 60s.
Was that the one where someone had like a binoculars that could see to France?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that part. I didn't see that
That
part.
happened at some point in time in the 80s, I think.
Well,
Sands of
one
the
of the things I do know about this show back in the 80s, in 1985, they introduced a character who wound up in a knife fight, and in this fight, he lost an eye.
Oh, is that how it ended up?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just remember he
So-
was on
Wait,
there with
in the
eye
show
patch.
or on real
No,
life?
no,
the
in the
show.
show.
In
In
the
the show.
show.
So on the show, his character wears an eye patch. Now, nothing about that is crazy, at least in soap opera world.
No, but it is weird. Like when I'm a little kid and this is happening in 1985, and I'm about like 8 years old, and I'm watching. I'm like, why does that guy have an eye patch?
He brought a knife to a gunfight.
Your mom's
yeah.
watching that on TV, and you're just
I'd
like,
have
why?
shot you in the body or something.
What drives me a little
no
nuts about
Cartoon
this
Network.
whole thing, though, and I mean, it's a soap opera, so I get it, right? But they named the character Patch.
Of course they did.
Patch Johnson. I mean, seriously? You're professional scriptwriters and showrunners, and the best you could come up with is naming him Patch? I mean, seriously, that's like making my ex-wife a character on the show and naming her Narcissa. You know? I mean, it's just like... Yeah. But anyway,
What's that word the British use? Oh, wait, never mind.
back to our story. So one night, the regular customer with the eye patch comes into the store, and he's wearing a large paper bag over his head.
Does he have an eye painted on the eye patch? Because I think that'd be cool.
The employee recognizes him right away and says something like, "Hey there, are you here for your cigarettes?" And the bag-headed customer says, "No, this is a robbery. Give me all the money in the drawer." Now, when the employee realizes the man is serious, he gives him the cash from the till, and the bagman turns and flees. And after he leaves, the employee immediately calls the police, gives him the man's name and home address from the video rental files, and the police subsequently apprehend and arrested the thief. So how did this employee know for sure that this thief was his regular
Tell me
patch-wearing customer?
he had the patch on the outside of the bag. Just tell me that, please.
No, it's not that. But he did rob the store with the bag over his head,
And he had the eye holes cut
and
out.
he
you could
only
see.
cut out one eye hole in the paper bag. That's how he knew.
Yes, thank you. That's amazing.
The suspect is currently in custody. I mean, talk about a dead giveaway, right? But our main story on today's Drinking News is the story of a simple spat between siblings that turned rather dark. You know, relationships with siblings are special, but they can also be difficult at times. Brothers and sisters often fight about the silliest things. Ian, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
All of them. I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers.
Nice.
Wow.
So,
And I am, that's 7 total if
Yeah.
you count me. I am dead center.
yeah, so I'm sure you love them all, but there have to be, like, times where there's conflict, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That was my NPR lean.
That's it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, brothers and
Yes.
sisters often fight about the silliest things, like whether or not landing on free parking when you're playing Monopoly means you get all the money in the pot, or even which way toilet paper should be hung in the
I
dispenser.
do want to point
You know,
out this.
the important stuff.
There is a right way, by the way.
I
Yeah.
do want to point out this. With all those people and the dynamics in my family,
Yeah.
nobody ever fights about anything serious. Like, it's all
Like
the
I just said,
stupidest things.
It's about Monopoly pot money or you know, pot money in general, or, you know, just whatever.
I called it first.
So look, maybe it's not so surprising after all that police in Williamsport, Pennsylvania recently responded to a report of a domestic disturbance. The cops were apparently asked to intervene because two siblings in a Williamsport home were threatening to kill each other over who ate the last sticky bun.
Oh, you don't take a man's last sticky bun.
Officers did not clarify whether the buns in question were homemade, but they did speculate that they most likely had come from a popular local establishment called Mr. Sticky's, which is
Wonder what they make.
apparently not far from where the cops were dispatched to handle the disturbance. And now, look, in the interest of full transparency here, there's not a whole lot to this story, just the siblings fighting over the pastry in question. But by reporting it to you here, I was able to say the words Mr. Sticky, which to me makes it totally worth it.
Somebody has to have a lawsuit against Mr. Sticky for causing such a ruckus.
In fact, our team of degenerates here at Drinking News were so taken with our opportunity to say Mr. Sticky on the show that they've gotten quite creative.
Mr. Sticky.
They've gotten quite creative in coming up with other situations where the name Mr. Sticky could be used.
Oh, yeah.
And they've compiled those for us today in the form of another highly dreaded Drinking News Top 5 list.
All right.
And so, at the risk of being handed yet another restraining order, I'd like to share that list with you now. This would be the top 5 other uses for the name Mr. Sticky.
That was my name in college.
Number 5, the furry costume cheerleading mascot for the Stickville College football team.
Yeah.
Number 4, the janitor at your local IHOP who mops those floors every day. Number 3, that weird uncle that you have that always tries to give you unwrapped hard candy from his jacket pocket. Yeah. Number 2, Mrs. Butterworth's secret lover. And the number 1 other use of the name Mr. Sticky, number 1, the male star of the popular porno film series Raiders of the Lost Arse. Reporting live from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where I've discovered that the phrase, "Hi, I'm Mr. Sticky," does not work particularly well as a pickup line. My name is Cruz, and that is your...
Drinking news, drinking news. That's our time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all.
Mrs. Butterworth's boyfriend.
Oh, so you like that one the best? That was like a throwaway, to be honest.
I love that
you
one
never,
so much.
you know, when
You never know what's going to
you
stick.
never know what's going to land or stick. In this case, that's right. Some things, you know, might be stickier than others. So.
I'm known by some
Can you believe?
as Mr. Sticky.
Can you believe I navigated that without going way out of bounds? Because I could have. I so could have.
Yeah.
All right. So Marc Borel is our wine expert, and now he has to follow that Mr. Sticky drinking news.
You know, I was recently in Tequila, and I toured a distillery, and what the guy who was leading us was talking about how things can become sticky.
Sticky. Was he talking about the weather? Was
He's talking about the agave and making
agave,
syrup.
Yeah.
And,
So, by the way, we had a guest on here who brought me a baby agave plant.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
That was Will.
It was Will. He was so cool about it. I mentioned that I really wanted to go and buy one, and like he came back on the show like a month or two later, and brought me just a little baby agave plant, and now it's huge. Like it's growing.
I want one, and
really
I can't find
well.
one.
I have one for you. my
Okay.
friend. I have a baby agave
That's fantastic.
that sprouted out from my agave plant, and next time I see
So
you,
you've
it's
already
yours.
have
I
another
love
one
that.
that's
Yep,
sprouted
I
out
already
from
got
it?
it. So I named.
What did you do? Did you just put it in a large pot?
Yeah, I put it in a
Okay.
large pot. I named my agave Jose,
Okay, of course.
As one does.
and then Jose Jr. is the little one that I
I
harvested.
understand that because that's your favorite.
Josito.
From. Right, Josito. I like it.
Josito, yeah.
Might
or
be
just,
called
or
Mr.
just
Sticky.
Mio.
Yeah, or Mija. But
Oh,
Marc,
maybe.
Marc
He
is,
talks to it every day.
yeah, I do. It's the conversation I have with my agave plant. That's between me and my agave plant.
Does it live
sacred.
outside or inside?
It's outside.
What's
It's on my
said
balcony.
between agave plant and man
Yeah,
stays with agave plant
that's right.
man.
Even if what I say to him is one day I'm going to drink you. Yeah, that's. I'm excited about him getting big.
You've got a long
I'm
time
going to
to do
ferment
that.
you in my turlet.
Yeah, that's right. Marc Borel, our wine expert and guest, has brought us yet another amazing one. We only have a couple minutes left in the segment, but I think we should start with
Yeah.
the tasting. So tell me about this this
So
last wine.
we're in northern
It's a red.
Italy at the
Ooh,
moment.
it's
This
rich
is
smelling.
This is from a place called Piedmont, which is a state or territory in Italy, and within Piedmont, there is an area called Langhe. Langhe also includes places like Barolo and Barbaresco, if you've heard of that. And what's grown in Langhe is the Nebbiolo grape. Right? Nebbiolo is what makes Barolo and Barbaresco. This is,
You realize if you were making all those names up, we
I know.
probably
They
wouldn't
didn't.
know.
but I'm counting on a handful of your listeners
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Knowing.
to actually know this. There, within Langhe, they make this grape, and Barolo and Barbaresco are some very famous regions within the area. In fact, Barolo is called the king of wine within Italy.
Really?
They it's aged in a specific way. The rules behind how it's made is quite stringent. But grapes that are harvested outside of Barolo and then also outside of Barbaresco can just be classified as Langhe Nebbiolo. So the region is Langhe, the grape is Nebbiolo. This is 100% Nebbiolo from a really old producer in the region called Renato Ratti.
This-
Ratti.
This is strikingly good.
Yeah, no,
Like-
this is great. And
Like
so
it
the
hits
reason
your palate and goes boom.
now, and you could also figure out why why I chose to pour this last.
Yes.
It's even though it doesn't look like it looks like
It's big.
You could see right through
This
it.
will wreck all the other wines we had.
Yeah, it's got, and that's the dominant characteristic of Nebbiolo. It's high tannin. It's got it's got a lot of fruit, but it's
big.
a bigger, bolder.
Like if you're putting this with
yeah.
food, you need steak. You need
Yes.
something
Yeah.
like like a
$24 at the grocery store.
Oh my God!
Wow.
You're kidding me.
$24.
All right.
Now you'll pay twice that for Barolo, but this is something really,
All
really
right,
nice.
we'll talk about this more
Yeah.
when we come back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, hand-rolled cigars, and wine today. And I want to go right back to this wine because it is so good.
Yeah, it's
it's
delicious.
big.
Tell me about this this particular bottle. Is it Ratti? Is that how you say-
Ratti is named after the gentleman who founded it, Renato Ratti. He's gone in the late 1900s, but his legacy continues. And one of the things that he was popular for in this particular region is the mapping of all the crews within the region. So he took this region and not only made Barolo what it is, but he also was the person who released the first single vineyard Barolo, which means that particular crew, it was named Marcinasco, that particular crew became what it was. And now there are dozens of crews within Barolo, and there are all these single crew Barolos you can find. And this one is not Barolo specific. It's not aged. Barolos are aged in such a manner that 38 months, 18 of those have to be in oak. Barbaresco,
Yeah.
yeah, Barbaresco is aged 26 months. 9 of those are in oak. This one's only aged 8 to 10 months in oak, so it doesn't have a lot of the astringency that
Right. It doesn't have a lot of that sort of bite to it. Yeah.
But it's this particular grape, Nebbiolo, is known for that, so you would expect some of that, and you do get some of it. But the interesting thing is that it is light. If you were just to look at this, you would think that this was a much lighter bodied
Right.
wine because you could see through it. It's really
Well, it's interesting. The wines that you brought for us today are really perfect springtime wines
Yeah,
because
definitely.
they're either light or they have sort of a light vibe to them, but yet still every one of them has been very full flavor.
This wine right here is begging for a Maduro just on
I
the
was just about to
on
say.
the fuller side of medium.
AJ Fernandez, San Latano, Requiem Maduro would just absolutely
That would crush it here.
rock
Yes,
with this.
yes.
It would absolutely rock. Or
The-
My Father.
My father, yes, 100%, or a Melanio Maduro,
Yeah, I would take that as well.
which would be on the lighter side of full, but still, I think fit around this in the wheelhouse.
What I
'Cause
love about
wine-
this is even though this looks like a lighter wine, It is extremely full flavor.
Well, you can understand why I wanted to open it a little
Much
earlier
flavor.
and put it in your
Right.
glass a little earlier.
But
because,
it's not super peppery either. Like this does not have like
but
that
the sip you
big
just
pepper
had
profile.
is a little bit more palatable, I think, than the sip that you might have had before we went to break. Right? It's
you
lost.
mean just the fact that it sat in the glass
right,
for that
and
much time.
it's opened up a little bit. And these wines do need to open up, not a lot, obviously, but
I noticed you popped this open like I think in the first hour of the show.
yeah,
and
absolutely.
just let it
and I did that for a reason.
Yeah, let it
for
breathe.
that reason alone. Now, I mean, I could have like pulled it right out of the bottle, but think of wine. So first of all, wine is produce. Wine oxidizes, and it's like an avocado, you leave or an apple, you leave it out too long, it'll oxidize, right? But specific wines like this that have all that extra body, that extra tannic structure, they need a little bit of
breath,
time.
yeah.
They don't need a lot of time. I'm not saying you got to go out and buy fancy things to like aerate this wine or put it in a decanter. You don't need any of that. This is a $24 bottle of wine. But that few minutes that we did open it made the world a difference.
So you're saying that when you've got a party going on and that person says, "Oh, this wine needs to breathe," he actually might be on to something.
Can you just nose that if you like open a bottle of wine you're not familiar with it, can you nose it and tell if it needs to breathe?
Often, but here's the thing: is that a lot of the wines that you'll find, specifically now that we're talking about like these grocery store finds or things that you might find at your local local liquor store, if you didn't go through a lot of trouble to go like into the back or some locked cabinet or something like that, for the most part, drink it now. Drink it, open it, it's ready to
Drink
go.
it the way it is.
Yeah, because unless you're talking about something like really old, like old Bordeaux's or Burgundies or something like that, they're ready to go.
So I didn't prep you for this question, so you might not have an answer.
Okay.
In your time dealing with wines, do you have one that you could single out as the best wine you've ever tasted? It can be wildly expensive. That's fine. I'm curious.
No, in fact, the answer is yes, I can. It's not a very expensive wine. I'm a big believer in the fact that you should drink what you like. And while I've been fortunate enough to be able to taste these really old, very expensive wines, almost daily, I'd be able to do that kind of thing. One that sticks out to me was one that hits me more emotionally than anything else. It was a wine from Bandol, from the region of Bandol, southern France.
Yeah.
So on the coast of France between Nice and Marseille, on your way up to Italy. There's a tiny wine region there called Bandol, and it's very similar to the wine number 3 that we had. Maybe in the same relative area by the same relative grapes. And it was one of those that had some age to it. I think it was in the early 80s, maybe, this wine was. I mean, in my circles, not crazy old, but still something that you won't be able to find nowadays.
What was it about it that wowed you to the point where you say this is maybe one of my favorites?
You know what it was?
I've ever
I
had?
think it was the fact that it was something so far away from what I had been trained to recognize and know. You're coming up in the wine world, you get to taste like California stuff all the time. You get to taste stuff from Burgundy or Bordeaux all the time. But this was, number one, a region that I wasn't at the time very familiar with. I've since actually come to recognize that this is the region that my lineage, my ancestry, actually comes from this area.
Very
And I
cool.
didn't know that at the time.
That's very cool.
But it was something. It was the importer was a very charming man that I had become friends with, and was. It was more of an emotional thing than anything else, and even now, wines from that region, even though that producer is no longer making wines from that region are just, they speak to me.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, these wines have spoken to us today.
Great.
And they've told wonderful stories. And to me, that's the number one thing about wine is it's something, a glass of wine is something you should have when you're opened up. it's the end of the evening and you're ready to, or you're on a show like this and we're drinking, but the end of the evening and you're ready to just kind of like go on a little journey. And I love that you have helped us to paint those pictures. Also love that you brought us some wines. You know, it's easy for us to look at California wines and go, okay, I kind of know this. You brought us wines from some regions that we didn't know a lot about and that I think are wonderful discoveries. They've all been fabulous. Mark,
And
thank you.
easy to get, and what a great
And,
price.
and easy to get and at great prices. Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely. Want to thank everybody for being here. Ian, what's on tap next week? Do we know?
Oh, I wish you'd asked me beforehand.
I know,
I'd
I
have it
always
up,
pull
but
this on you
I
too
do have
quickly.
something coming up next week. We'll see. Next week is just us.
Okay.
However,
So lots of Nicolas Cage talk next week.
the week after that, we will be on location at Copperhead Brewing.
Looking forward to that.
And
Those
then the
guys
week
make great
after
beers.
that, we got the master distiller Scott Bayer and Joseph Beck as their representative, coming on from O.H. Ingram Distillery.
Nice. So,
And then, dude, we got even more. We got
Yeah.
Dan Crowell coming on the
I
show. at
love
very
me some
end of the
Dan
month.
Crow. All right, so we're looking forward to all of this stuff. It's going to be great. Thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you, Marc Borel, for being here and tasting with us. This has been amazing fun, and my wine is all gone. Have a great week, everybody.
She goes out, yeah.